Hey guys, welcome back to another podcast. I'm here with Ashley from Resurgent Fire Films. She is a freelance videographer, just like I am. And I'm just going to give you the floor and explain who you are
Absolutely.
and what you do.
Thanks for having me. I'm super stoked on this
Glad you're on here.
podcast venture for you. So happy to be a part as well. Like Dylan said, my name's Ashley. I own Resurgent Fire Films in Tampa, Florida. I wish I had like a kind of like niche videography style, but I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to my projects, and I really, actually now that I'm thinking about it, I really love that because I have a really eclectic client base, I guess you could say. So we were talking a little bit earlier, I do weddings a lot, but I also do brand manifesto videos for small businesses and real estate videos, and I've done some really cool projects for families like legacy films, so it's been fun.
Pretty much a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, yeah, absolutely.
What's your most recent one?
My most recent, it was actually a passion project for me.
Really?
So I had a little break from client work. I had been traveling for the 4th of July, and then when I got back, I had a week open. And I reached out to a friend of mine that's a very talented dancer, and I shot her just out in nature, kind of just doing her thing. And
that's cool.
I think it resonated really well for video because the whole thing was shot in slow-mo, and it was just very earthy and natural. So
she loved it?
She loved it.
That's
and
awesome.
she even said that she's like very critical of herself on photo and video, so the fact that I was able to really capture like who she is through the art of dance and video, so
like naturally,
yes,
instead
absolutely.
of like scripted like most people are.
Yeah, it was nice to kind of take a break from the corporate side of it and just do it because it's something that I've come to enjoy and love. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
How'd you get started into shooting video?
This is always a funny question because it kind of happened super organically.
Okay.
So I went to school at USF for mass comm and advertising, and I started a career kind of in that field after, and I had a great job at a TV station, and I hated it almost immediately. So I knew
What'd you do there?
I was a promotions coordinator, so it was really cool. I was always getting like free tickets to concerts and hooking up friends and stuff, but I think it didn't really give me that creative outlet that
I wasn't just
I
clicking
needed.
for you.
Yeah.
Got it.
So left that job, went back to bartending, and then I started doing film kind of as a hobby, but also as a way to volunteer and give back. I would reach out to local nonprofits and say, hey, do you have an event coming up? Like, I'd love to capture some video for you. I'll put together a highlight. And I got to work with some really, really amazing local nonprofits.
That's awesome.
So
it's always good to give back.
Absolutely, and I still do.
Yeah.
So I still work regularly with a few of them, and it's just been, that's kind of how it started. I just started doing it as a hobby, and then I would see myself sitting editing till 3, 4, 5 in the morning and just losing track of time because I was incredibly passionate about what I was doing.
It's funny how things like that work out.
Isn't it crazy how it just, I mean, I really did stumble upon this career, and I've started my LLC almost a year ago.
Really?
Next month will be a year, so it's crazy that I definitely didn't think that I would be able to do video full-time 1 year in, but I'm born and raised in Tampa, and I know a lot of great people, and everyone needs video.
I mean, Tampa is a beautiful location, especially like we're here right by the water. We have like 2-3 sports teams here, and it's amazing, and especially how much money is being put into the area, like on Water Street and what Armature Works over there.
It's growing.
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome.
Good market for us both. So,
who was your inspiration, or like, did someone like push you to do video, like once you started seeing some of your stuff come out?
Okay, it's funny that you asked this because Tampa actually has an amazing video production scene, and I'm lucky enough to be really close friends with a lot of different companies. So Motion Minds, Oscar and Kyle are great. Real Fishy Productions, Jordan's a really great friend of mine. So I have a bunch of these outlets that I'm able to, if I'm stuck on something or if I want to know where I should invest in gear next, I can ask these people. And I think just following, kind of like being a newbie in an industry that they're already so established in, has helped me, and I look up to them. And so I think they're my inspiration. It's cool that they've made their knowledge available to me whenever I ask. So.
Okay, because like some people kind of like put that wall
for sure
and like don't like to share. But like here in Tampa, people are very like
eager to help, for sure.
Yeah, and I love that kind of culture down here because it's not like that everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, even you and I, like, I feel like we met a couple weeks ago on a video shoot randomly, and we've reached out a couple times via social media just to, you know, keep that creative vibe flowing. So.
Exactly. So you've been doing this professionally for like a year.
Professionally for a year, but I started shooting in like 2014.
2014. So, I shot around 13, 14, around that time too. Yeah. That's when I started too. It's funny. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Are you still going to be doing video, or do you want to be doing other things outside of like?
Always video.
Always video.
I always want to be doing video because the love that I've had for it has grown as I've learned more about the industry and editing. And I mean, it's something that you continue to get better at every time you shoot. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like I look back at some of the first videos I've done, which were really professionally only a year ago, and they've grown so much since then. So definitely always video. I think ultimately what I'd like to grow Resurgent Fire Films into is I want to start, there needs to be a market for travel films. Like, I want a family to go on vacation and not worry about having to get hire
I've had that same idea too.
We'll do it. We'll start a company. Just like hire Dylan and I. We'll come on your family vacation with you. You can leave the GoPro at home and we'll put together some nice memories for you. So that'll kill two passions with one stone, if you will, because I love to travel, and
I love to travel too.
That's it. This is actually a business meeting, so
it's funny. So I know you've done like corporate stuff here in Tampa, and weddings here, and not just Tampa, but like St. Pete and whatnot. Have you traveled outside of Florida to do any work yet, or is there some work coming up?
I am contracted. I booked my first out-of-state wedding last month, so I'll be doing a wedding in Charlotte, North Carolina next year, and I'm very excited because the venue's gorgeous and the couple's great. So, and then Key West, still kind of Florida, but I'm doing one in January, so I'm super excited about that one as well.
Is there any specific place that you would love to go to shoot? It doesn't even have to be in the U.S. It could be in Europe or something.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that would probably be my go-to is Europe, just because I have been there, and I really, really fell in love with Venice. So, and it's such a romantic city. Like, if I could do a wedding film there, I think it would just be like the be-all, end-all of the
bucket list.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
What's been the hardest part? Because I know is like for me, sticking to a deadline and trying to push out videos like people want, especially when when you do a shoot one day and they're like, oh, so when's the video gonna be out? They're like, yeah, it's not like photos.
Right. Like, I don't think clients in particular realize how time intensive it is. You do the work, you shoot the content, and then that's when the work starts. Like, editing is definitely the bigger part of it, I think, as far as time management goes. But I really like to, I will consume myself with that edit, and I'll do a wedding, and then it will be nothing. I will not think about anything else until that edit's over, and I'll usually push it out in 4 or 5 days, which I think is a fast turnaround time for industry standard. But I think the hardest part so far for me, I don't know. I mean, definitely time management and working with deadlines and schedules, but I guess just I want to be so busy. I want people to come to me where I have to turn them away, and it's not there yet. So I think just building my brand up and getting the word out there
to a point where just the workflow is
right.
Just
Absolutely. I think that's been the toughest part so far, but I mean, I'm 1 year in, so I'm
exactly. I'm pretty much at that same point too. Yeah. I'm slowly starting to get to that point. Today I had a meeting with the team, and have like 4 shoots in the next like 2 weeks, which is like crazy to think about to me, because a year ago it would have been like, oh yeah, we might do a shoot like in 2 months from now, but now like you said, things are starting to like pick up and whatnot. It's exciting. It's
Absolutely.
It's a really good feeling, because
For sure.
I hate sitting back and not having anything to do. It's like, oh, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna pay these bills?
That's how I met you, because I literally I had just come off of my busiest month. I had 9 shoots in May.
My God.
So it was a great month. It was so good, and I really enjoyed everything, and I was able to stay on top of all those projects and really push my editing skills and my shooting skills at the same time. And then July was like silence. I had like 1 shoot contracted, so I was like, like I'm coming out, I'm crashing your shoot, like I have to do something creatively, like I'm itching to, which is pretty cool that, I mean, we've set up ourselves for careers that if we get bored if we're not doing it, so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like when I first got the Red camera, I didn't plan any shoots. I had like a few shoots in mind that I knew that were coming up, but outside of that, I always have the passion to go out and shoot.
Right.
So most of the videos that are on my Instagram, like maybe 10% of the videos that were on there were paid, but the other 90% were just stuff that I would go out and film. Like I'd go and hang out with friends at the beach and whatnot, or in like other places, and just kind of film whatever and then put an edit together. I think that kind of helped my creative side, because some people just kind of like sit on something.
Yeah.
Like say if you just specialized in weddings, and someone similar to you just specialized in weddings, they just sit on weddings, just wait for a develop to come up, they're never going to develop their creative side of doing weddings, because they never know. Like you never know, you could go out and shoot something else and learn a new technique that you can incorporate, which I think is pretty cool in the creative side of doing video work.
Yeah, and I mean, even, and growth comes from that. Like for example, the shoot that I met you, I was doing behind the scenes of you guys shooting an artist, and then 1 week later, someone asked me to do another behind the scenes for them. So
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You never know what kind of work could potentially come out of something that grew just from creativity.
Exactly.
So.
I think that's probably the most beautiful part about being in this space, is just the aspect that it doesn't matter how someone like thinks you should do it. Like you have your own mind, you have your own vision, and you can always go for it. Whereas like sitting in like an office job, you have to like follow the rules and whatnot. It's gonna be the same outcome every time.
Right.
So, is there anything else you want to say?
No, I think we just about covered everything. So thanks again so much for having me.
Thanks again for being on here. I'm gonna put your link in the description. You have Twitter?
I don't. That's like the only. Dylan, that's the only social media I'm
that's
not
right.
on, and
So
you call me that.
Instagram.
So Instagram, Facebook, website. You can
so
drop everything.
I'll put all of that in the description. Once again, thank you for watching, and thank you for listening if you're listening on Apple Pdocasts, and I will see you guys in the next one.